Welcome everyone to the Corsace Closed Finals. We are down to the top 4 competitors in the tournament now. 2 of them already locked into the winners finals. Those are Flying Tuna and I'm a Fancy Lad, who are in the winners grand final spot and in the losers bracket finals respectively. The winner of this match, however, is going to be the last player into the top 3. The winner going on to face I'm a Fancy Lad in the losers bracket finals in this matchup between Utami and Tekkito. I'll be your caster for this match, Dio, and I think we're in for a good one. Both of these players had relatively dominant performances against their earlier matchups this weekend. Utami with the 7-2 victory over Intercambing, looking relatively clean there, and then Tekkito with a 7-0 sweep up against Nissan to secure the position in top 4, looking very, very strong overall. Slightly similar bans for both players, not wanting to deal with the old aim consistency map in Hard Rock 1, and Utami in general having a fairly good time actually on some of the speedier picks in the pool. A 900k almost on Nomad 5, which in a finals pool is sort of ridiculous. Same for the 600k on Nomad 2. Looking at that map, you would not expect those kinds of scores in the finals pool, but here we are. Tekkito, though, with some fairly strong scores of his own, specifically on Rinitense in double time. That is the 294 BPM high speed pick in DT. So speed definitely not a clean pick here for Utami as well. 450k for Tekkito on Nomad 1, which doesn't sound like a lot until you remember that it's almost 8 stars here in the finals. We are already at 7.95 stars on this map, and it's not just regular sort of PP farm jumps that you expect to see a lot of the time in Nomad 1. There's a lot of really tricky streams in this map, so it's a little bit more obtuse to get a high score on that map than you would initially think just because it's Nomad 1. So I think both of these players very, very equipped to handle the raw mechanics that are dealt out in this pool, but man, the gimmick picks on this pool, specifically the hiddens, have been so tricky for people to get the hang of. AR6, CS6, Nomad 6 is also something that I think the players are going to struggle a little bit with. Microwav, 250k from Tekkito on that map in the previous round. Utami getting a 275k as well, basically neck and neck there with a similar 92% accuracy for both players. So I feel like that map gets left up and just last picked, if anything, or if they're both confident in their other picks, just banned out so that they don't have to deal with it. I think that's the case for a lot of these picks, honestly, with a lot of the reading maps being very, very difficult, and with both of these players not only having the raw mechanics to deal with the aim and the speed, but also having the reading on hidden to deal with a lot of the very, very difficult to read picks, specifically system in the hidden pool, with Utami getting a 430k on that in the previous round. Tekkito only getting 260k up against Nissan. I think both of these players are going to be looking out for each other on some of the these different hidden picks. Nomad 3, the first ban from Utami. DT2, the first ban from Tekkito, not wanting to deal with the 250 BPM stream pick against Utami, especially after that score on Nomad 5. I would take my chances on the 255 BPM burst map with... It's got some streams that are close to or a little bit longer than 16 notes, but not a lot of them. It's a lot of consecutive bursts. So either favoring that map or banning it out next if he really does want to just get rid of all of the sort of mid BPM speed in the pool here. It is going to be Nomad 5 also banned out there from Tekkito, so not wanting to go up against Utami on that 250, 255 BPM speed. And I think that's a pretty good ban considering Utami got 900k on it against Intercambing yesterday. Sort of a scary score there for him. Utami banning out Nomad 3, I think definitely a strong ban generally against somebody like Tekkito, who is traditionally very, very strong on tech maps and on slider velocity picks like this in particular. Hidden 1 also Very, very tricky map. It's not only the sort of awkward aim that you've come to expect from hidden one slots in tournaments, you know, lots of really awkward angles all over the place, lots of wide angle jumps, those types of things abound in the map for sure. But there's also a lot of slider velocity changes in the map and a lot of really difficult to follow sliders in that pick. So it is a band that I think goes along with something like Nomad 3 fairly well. And Utami, definitely not scared of the Nomad 1 performance from Tekkito yesterday. Tekkito with the 450k on this Nomad 1 yesterday versus Nissan. Utami says, no, I can do better, and first picks it up against him here. So we are into Ouroboros by Black Swallowtail. I was talking about this a little bit earlier, but this map has a lot more to it than just the jumps. There are those in abundance, of course. It is Nomad 1. It would not be an aim consistency map without the aim. But it definitely takes the consistency part to heart. There are 204 BPM space streams in this map at multiple different points, and some especially tricky streams at about the 2/3 point of the map that players are going to have to watch out for if they are holding on to combo. Hitting or missing those streams can make or break a 700k plus or a 500k limited on this map. A little bit of act drop for both players at the start of the map. Really not going to matter all that much for either of these players. An early miss for Tekkito might matter a little bit. It's about 150 combo down for him right now. Utami gaining some score lead because of that. Definitely in this map, the hardest parts do come out during the Kiais. Both players hitting the first sets of streams, neither of those spaced. They should be able to hit these. They're only 204 BPM. Until we get some of that spacing, some of the stream aim that comes out in the latter part of this map, the streams probably aren't going to present much of a challenge to either player. And both players actually missed there. Utami over-tapping, it looks like, at the end of that stream, and Tekkito missing, I think, right before the stream on one of the jumps. Tekkito missing again on another one of those jump sets in the Ki. So Utami, with the more consistent aim here in Nomad 1, is rewarded with a combo lead coming out of the first Ki. Luckily for him, Tekkito did find those misses on the jumps, because that over-tap could have cost him a lot of combo otherwise, but he is still in the clear at the moment. Up 40k, up about 100 combo on Tekkito, and continuing to hold that advantage through some of the easier sections here. We'll get into a second Ki shortly at about the halfway point. Both players actually hitting the streams, but Tekkito slider breaking one of the jumps right afterwards and missing one of the jumps in the Ki. It's that inconsistency for Utami that is helping him out big time here on Nomad 1, because even with that overtap right after the first stream in the first Ki, he is still holding strong on so many of these jumps where Tekkito just doesn't quite have that raw aim at almost 8 stars to deal with the Ki times in this map. And these are those streams that I was talking about 2/3 of the way through the map. Both players finding some misses on those. The stream aim here can be so challenging if you're not prepared for space streams at 204 BPM in your Nomad 1. Neither player hitting those, but at this point for Utami, it doesn't matter all that much. He's able to pull out enough combo in the first half of the map to make it a non-problem here for those space streams. And it is about a 100 combo lead right now for Tekkito, but it's about 120k score lead for Utami here at the end. So even with these misses on that last set of big jumps, I don't think it's going to matter for Utami. He's still just going to be able to pull out the win here. And it's actually about the same score for Utami as Tekkito had yesterday. Slightly lower score, though, by about 10k points. Tekkito was right around 447k yesterday. So an underperformance for Tekkito based on the score from yesterday, but Utami able to just about match it, and it works on the day. So a nice first pick for Utami. And now Tekkito with the first pick of his own. We always hope, as spectators, that both players win their own first pick. So nicely done for Utami there. Let's see what Tekkito has up. After Nomad 3 and Hidden 1 get banned out, you have to think that Tekkito goes with one of the reading maps in the pool. And it's not quite a reading map or a slider map, but it is a map that is a little bit tricky within the Nomad pool. Nomad 4 here, Nyctalopia, is the alt map for one. It's 145 BPM, and the type of aim control that this has is really focused on not so much grid-snapped linear patterns, but wide-angle flow aim patterns that are so wide that they just become linear patterns. Lots of slight wiggles that just go in a straight line, for instance, across the bottom of the screen. You see that a lot of times in the Kiais in this map. And besides that, a lot of your standard, quote-unquote, modern alt-map aim control, where you've got a lot of these rapidly changing flow aim patterns that you need to adjust to over and over again. And Utami does have one of those patterns get the best of him in the intro section of the map, down about 100 combo versus Tekkito out of the gate. Another couple of misses here for Utami before we get into the Kiai time. And now with the spacing increase, we get a couple of these sort of back and forth patterns that are really tricky to deal with. Tekkito seems not very phased, does finally drop the combo though within the first Ki. Utami actually hitting the Ki time is a little bit ridiculous. There's some of those linear patterns that I was talking about at the start of the map. And Utami hits those, I guess. They both hit those, I guess. But at the end of the first Ki, it's looking like Utami with combo lead here. He's able to hold on where it counts in the middle of the map. It does miss on the sliders. Both of them actually missing at just about the same time. But Utami just note locks an entire pattern right afterwards. Drops so much ACK, about 10k score as well, down the drain during that pattern. And Tekkito, because he did not note lock afterwards, is able to hold on to the accuracy in about 30k score lead. Utami with another couple of misses going into the second Ki. Tekkito dropping on the aftermath of the square patterns there, but Utami not able to pull together a consistent combo means that Tekkito's still going to be pretty okay on this map. Just needs to hold on to the accuracy and a bit of combo here and there, and he should be relatively fine on this. Does already have over a 50k score lead on Utami, never mind. Drops a ton of accuracy on, again, some of these overlapping patterns that have just been the bane of both players' existence during this map, as they cannot seem to be able to hit them at any point. At this point now, it's just the 2% accuracy lead for Tekkito, doing a lot to keep the score on his side, along with the earlier combo leads that he did have. But while this 2% accuracy lead exists, even when there is combo lead for Utami, like right now, it's going to take so much time to bring the score lead back. And with how ridiculous this patterning is in this map, I mean, the aim control required to hit some of this is just beyond the scope of what most players can do. Utami there showing a little bit of frustration, I think, at this map overall, or at his performance on it at least. And yeah, throwing this one over to Tekkito. A good first pick for him. We are 1-1 in this matchup. as expected, the ending also going Tekkito's way, both players having a little trouble getting some combo together at the end. But it is a 1 first pick for Tekkito, 1-1 in the match as well. And back over to Utami now for the next pick. And I think in this match in particular, this may be how some of these picks go, where we see Utami opting into some of the more mechanics-based maps, specifically some of the aim picks, especially with the earlier bans from Tekkito just on the raw speed, trying to take those out. With Tekkito opting into some of the more gimmicky picks, it's definitely what the bans would have you believe, and based on the scores and the picks yesterday, that's kind of what I'm expecting as well. DT1 definitely fits that bill for Utami. 255 BPM, AR 10.47, and the highest star rating in the pool. It is definitely the DT aim map here. 2 minutes and 6 seconds on this one as well, so pretty short in comparison to the other aim maps in the pool, which all top that 3-minute mark. Not so much a consistency map as it is a test of not only the high approach rate reading, but also the high BPM aim at the same time. As we wait for both players to load in here. It's worth mentioning that acking something like this is also somewhat of a challenge for some players, given how high the OD is. It is, I believe, over OD 10 at this point, with it being OD 10.5, or OD 8.5 base, excuse me. Slider break for Utami after the doubles come out. The finger control on something like 255 BPM spam doubles is going to be a little bit difficult for most players, and he does find a couple of breaks afterwards. Tekkito drops on another jump pattern right after that, but Utami drops on a burst. Tekkito drops on another jump right afterwards. So it's just trade misses back and forth for both of these players, with Tekkito specifically missing on a lot of the aim patterns, and Utami missing on a lot of the either finger control or bursty patterns in this map. And in an aim map, you definitely want to be the player who's missing on the bursts. Tekkito missing on the jumps is going to have a lot more of those to deal with than Utami missing on the bursts every now and then. But it's looking like combo lead right now for Tekkito. About similar accuracy for both of them, 1% up for Utami. So this lead is going to stick around for a little bit longer than usual, but both players combo resetting there does favor Utami. It's only 10-15k in his favor, however. The accuracy lead now widening up again, and finally we do see a little bit of a break for Utami at this point. It's still neck and neck though. Breaks from either player can decide this when the score is within 20-30k like this. It's very, very close. Unfortunately for Tekkito, no breakpoint to come out. He finds more than a couple slider breaks here near the end of the map. More than a couple misses as well by the end, and with both players resetting the combo, almost 100k score in the favor of Utami. It's definitely going his way. It was close there for a while between the two players. It was looking like Tekkito may have had a shot at taking an early breakpoint, but Utami was able to hold on near the end and prevent any shot of that happening. It looks like we're going for Toromaru now in the hidden pool. This is an interesting one for sure. Usually when you see hidden, you just think, yeah, it's definitely going over to Tekkito, but against Utami, both players here fairly seasoned hidden mains, I think, in general, with quite a lot of wins in the hidden map pool under their belts in tournaments. Utami starting out as a hidden player, again for Tekkito starting out as a reading and hidden player, and gradually gaining the raw mechanics to deal with a lot of the other mod pools in tournaments, to now this point where they're both beasts to be reckoned with on basically anything. Tekkito yesterday 300k on this map, and Utami yesterday 240k. So this is by no means a one-sided pick for either player. 200 BPM stream aim, lots of accelerating, decelerating streams, lots of cut streams, lots of space streams, and lots of wiggle 1/3 spliced in between all of those to deal with for both players. Early misses coming out from Tekkito, early act drops alongside those misses, as it tends to be on stream maps. Miss on the wiggle 1/3 there for Utami means combo advantage for Tekkito. The first sizable combo advantage we had in this map, but both players just resetting the combo all over the place, and now with the act basically evened out, and that wiggle stream killing the accuracy and combo for both of them. It's just neck and neck between these two. Act drops all over the place, combo drops all over the place, and too much happening to keep track of. But it's just an overwhelming now score lead for Tekkito, as he's able to hit that next wiggle stream as well as the cheese stream that comes right afterwards. Does finally drop on the space stream into the 1/3 there, but it's already 30k score in his favor, along with a 2% act advantage due to all of the chain misses from Utami when Tekkito was able to hold. About 100 combo lead in favor of Utami right now, though, as Tekkito drops on some of the other wiggle sections, especially when you have a lot of these space streams coming up right afterwards. The combo is so dense on this map that it can give score lead over very quickly, and look, the accuracy now has pretty much evened out. It's a lot of act drops for Tekkito, and now it's within 1,000 score for both players. The ending of this map is going to decide everything here as we get within 5k for both of them. Utami just needs to hold on to the accuracy, to the combo for a little bit where Tekkito drops once, and he'll be able to take a break point. Tekkito, on the other hand, absolutely needs to hold, and does through that space stream where Utami drops, widens up the score lead, and is able to secure that second point, 2-2 on this map. And if you look at the scores yesterday, you expect them to be close, but not quite that close. 25k, all decided at the very end of the map, is incredibly close between those two players. It came down to just a couple of ending streams, and that was it. They are both delivering on those scores from yesterday. Both of them, I believe, topping their scores from yesterday. Yeah, both of them topping their scores from yesterday to get it that close between the two of them. And it's now time for Hard Rock 2, according to Utami. CS 6.5 Awkwarding. Mapped by Xarius with a normal difficulty. You know it's going to be hard. This one it's a lot of really wide-angle sort of jumps on CS 6.5 Hard Rock, and I think that helps bring the difficulty up on this one for sure, to the point where both players are probably going to struggle with some of, not only the wide-angle jumps, but some of the linear patterns of this map as well. Early misses for both players. Right at the start here, we have 70 to 90 act, the classic Hard Rock. And as I said, lots of linear patterns, lots of wide-angle jumps, and yeah, this is definitely a corner check sort of map. Combo lead out of the gate for Utami, accuracy lead by about 7% for Utami as well at the start of this map. We do see a break for Utami. Tekkito now with the combo lead, but it doesn't really do too much when you're down 4% in accuracy. It's going to take quite a long time for that combo lead to matter whatsoever here. I miss on the 2/3 jumps there for Tekkito leading into the KI time. And now Utami, with combo lead, with accuracy lead, is going to be allowed to build up a pretty substantial score advantage. Does find a miss, but I mean, it doesn't look like much because it's only 30k, but when it's 30k out of 90k for Tekkito, it's 1.3 times his score right now, which is quite a lot when you put it in terms of the relative score difference here. Both players having such low score means that this is actually quite a big advantage for Utami. That said, if anyone is able to get a sizable combo together, it suddenly becomes a very small score difference, but I don't see that happening with the type of map that this is. It's so difficult to miss on any of the one random jumps over to the corners and back, as well as all the perfect stacks in this. Yeah, we do see combo dropped for both players once again. Even with the axe evened out, it is still pretty well in the favor of Utami. Still about 40k up for him right now, just because of all of the small combo advantages that he's accrued throughout the map. Now, 2/3 the way in, 50k up on Tekkito. It's still about 1.3 times score, so he is continuing to build up that same relative score lead all throughout the map. You see a couple breaks there for Utami, but Tekkito follows them right up with breaks of his own. And at this point, 80k score lead, 90k score lead for Utami. This one's over. It is going to be 3-2 after this pick. And we'll go ahead and say it now, since we're talking about it in chat a little bit. The showcase for the Grand Finals pool is going to be right after this match. If you're interested in seeing the maps that one of these players, along with I'm a Fancy Lad and Flying Tuna, will be playing on next weekend in the Grand Finals, stick around after this match for the showcase for those maps. Looks like we're going to get Hard Rock 4 next up for Tekkito. His first pick was Nomad 4, which was an alt map, and this one as well is similar enough that you could call it an alt map, although a lot of the patterning is really low BPM space streams with a lot of variable spacing built into them. There's some really tricky slider streams in this map, there's some cut streams, there's some what you could only call alt patterns in here as well. Both players starting out actually really strong on this map. No breaks for either player, roughly similar AC as well for both of them. And you can see why I said this is basically just an alt map in Hard Rock. The aim control on this is very similar to what we saw in Nomad 4, and the first to be downed by it is Tekkito. He does drop the combo going into the first PI. It gives big combo lead over to Utami. Tekkito dropping the combo once again means that Utami is going to have pretty sizable combo here and is actually hitting all of this Ki as well. Okay, sure. Does both of them hit the slider stream, actually? Okay. And alright, we finally see a drop from Utami on one of the buzz slider patterns there, but Tekkito drops right at the same time as well. I was a little speechless during that because I didn't expect either player to combo halfway into the map on something like this. And with that combo from Utami, he's got a sizable lead. 60k up on Tekkito here on Hard Rock 4. Tekkito with the combo lead, however, does have a chance to bring this back, especially with these repeated breaks coming through for Utami. I think that score and that high combo actually got to his head as well, because Tekkito now less nerves, it looks like, less shakes going into the second Ki time here, and is able to hit the majority of this Ki time as well now, so is going to be able to stage the comeback against that early big combo from Utami. Tekkito getting his own big combo in the second half of the map, while Utami unfortunately just falls apart here by the end, dropping so many misses, so many hundreds at the end of the map. Tekkito able to pull out the combo needed to match, or almost match, that of Utami, and hold on to the AK as well in the first half of the map. That's really where a lot of that score difference comes from, is the difference in consistency on the first half for Tekkito versus the second half for Utami, when each of them was unable to hold combo. And we now get into Nomad 2 here, picked up by Utami. It's going to be Plum by Dustwind, mapped by Mucky Donalds and Hammy My Remy. 210 BPM stamina here. Lots of space streams in this as well. Only 2 minutes and 25 seconds, but very, very difficult to hold on to the flow aim through a lot of this map as well, with a lot of these streams getting not quite follow points, but definitely spaced out from the other circles. We did see Utami play this in his last matchup as well. I believe it was his first pick versus Intercambing, or versus Pekko Camping, excuse me. And he got 600k on it, so a pretty darn good score, if you ask me, on something like this. 1100 combo, 98.86% last time he played this, so it should be a pretty good pick for him here up against Tekkito. Tekkito did double ban speed. That doesn't mean necessarily that he's going to be having a rough time on the stamina pick, but you do tend to favor speed players generally on stamina maps, especially when you get to this high of a BPM at 210. It really does start to overlap, I think, a lot between the two player bases. Utami, no early misses, holding on to the SS right now. Tekkito did have an early set of misses at the start of the map, and I was going to say had recovered pretty well to this point, but does drop a slider break going into the second quarter of the map here. And Utami's just going. He does finally find some misses. Finally finds some misses here. About 600 combo in. I think an underperformance considering yesterday's score for sure. But Tekkito doesn't really have a lot of combo to bring the score back with. Now does, actually, as Utami finds another set of misses, misaims on a 5-note linear burst, and Tekkito now has been basically gifted a 300 combo lead here from a lot of the misses from Tekkito. Similar accuracy for both players as well right now. And Utami is continuing to miss on some of these random 5-note bursts. I think the nerves may be getting to him a bit. Luckily for him, Tekkito does find the slider break going into the space stream section, and chain misses there on the space streams into the triple spam. Utami able to hold, is granted the score lead because of it, but it's still so close between them. The ending definitely going to decide this map as we head into the last quarter, with Utami and Tekkito both beast moding the space streams right now, holding on through the hardest part of the map. Tekkito finds a slider break there at just the end of one of those streams as Utami finally does drop on one of these high spacing patterns. Tekkito holds on through the high spacing though, and Utami drops so much accuracy on that. Tekkito also finds a chain miss at the same time, and that's going to save Utami's score for sure on this one. Just barely able to keep the lead there at the end. He drops so much score again at the end. It's so lucky for him, actually, that Tekkito has dropped at the same point once again, because these chain misses are making it much closer than it needed to be for sure. 30 misses for both players, 10 50s, 4 50s. More misses than hundreds is how you know it's a note lock kind of map. Both of those players chain missing sort of all over the place. It was, I think, a lot of that consistent combo at the start for Utami, and then big combo through some of the Space Stream sections near the end that just kept it ever so slightly in his favor through the entire map. Well done from him on that pick. Reminder again that one of these two players is going to be moving on to the Grand Finals weekend. Flying Tuna is going to be waiting in the Winner's Bracket Grand Finals to meet either I'm a Fancy Lad or one of these two after the Loser's Bracket Finals. If you want to see the maps that they play on next weekend, stick around after the stream for the Grand Finals showcase. In the meantime, though, we're waiting on Tekkito's next pick. It is currently 4-3. These players have just been trading it back and forth all match long. I have to say, based on how the maps have gone so far, I'm looking for one of those reading maps, and he goes with No Mod 6 for Tekkito. The beep difficulty of Dandalus. This map is, it's a Yaspo map. It's a Yaspo map for sure. CS6, AR6, probably OD6 if I click on the actual map link and look. Yep, no, OD8 actually. OD8, welcome OD8 into the map. Yeah, this is, it's a map that plays with your sense of, time-distance equality in OS overall. There are so many patterns in this map that just do you dirty, where you expect the notes next up to be either much earlier in time or much later in time based on the spacing that you're given in this map. And being able to read patterns like that on AR6 is such a challenge for basically anyone. But both of these players pretty darn good at the low approach rate reading overall. Both of them well known in tournaments for low approach rate reading and their ability to perform well on those maps in match. Tekkito, the first player to drop, does find a slider break there. Finds actually quite a lot of misses at the same time. It's 99.6 AC for Utami on this right now. You know, I said this map was hard. I guess not. They're making it look pretty easy. Maybe I should try this in solo to get a good score. Seems like this is pretty easy for both of them. Tekkito does drop it in a couple of places here and there, but it is, it's the Utami show right now. He has finally dropped the combo, but he's still on 99.5 accuracy almost here. And again, this isn't like OD6, this is OD8. It's not the highest OD in the world, but being able to tap something like this in time is half of the challenge, and he is making it look very, very easy. We do get a couple more slider breaks that come through for Utami. It drops the act below 99 for a second. He's able to pick it right back up. But more importantly is the combo lead that's now been built up for Tekkito. While Utami has been dropping a few misses here and there through the middle of the map, Tekkito has been able to just silently hold on to this giant combo over on the right-hand side of the screen, is just still going through that massive stream. Finally drops there on a jump, but at this point, that lead is just insurmountable. There's no map left. 100k up for Tekkito at the end of this map, and Ak be damned, he is going to win this one for sure. Too many misses from Utami into the second half of the map, and too much combo held for Tekkito for that breakpoint to go over. He is keeping it 4-4. No breakpoints today. Those are both insane scores, by the way. Just to compare them to yesterday, Tekkito got 250k on that map yesterday, and Utami also got 250k, 275k on that map yesterday. So both of them improving their scores, but Tekkito leaps and bounds higher than I think people expected as an improvement for that one, because that was a ridiculous score for Tekkito. 4-4, once again, no breakpoints dropped. We're getting close to the end here. It is only best of 13, first to 7 wins. I like this pick from Utami, honestly. He has been winning pretty solidly on a lot of these aim picks so far. Nomad 1, DT1, Hard Rock 2, and now Hard Rock 1 as well. Nomad 2 aside, he has been picking the aim maps all match long, and he's going to continue to do so here. Crazy Psycho Lesbian, the next map up. This one, I think in contrast to Nomad 1, is far more focused on just the single tap jumps. There are not a lot of bursts in this, and if you go back to how the previous maps have gone in general, the places where Utami has missed have been on those burstier or more tapping intensive sections, whereas Tekkito has been struggling more on just the raw aim consistency, and you can see that right out of the gate here, already missing the slider break for Tekkito, and while the accuracy for Utami definitely leaves something to be desired, he's still holding on to the combo, and never mind. Alright. So both players dropping the combo out of the gate. It's the accuracy difference, though, right now for Tekkito that's making a lot of the score lead right here. Unfortunately for Tekkito, though, Ak is the secondary gameplay element in OS, and he is not really able to hold on to a super high combo in this map. Those repetitive misses on the raw aim sections are what have haunted him throughout the rest of the aim picks in this pool up against Utami, and what continue to drop his combo on Hard Rock 1 here. Utami looking to pull this score lead back now into the first TI time. And it's Utami actually holding on to the combo through that Ki. Tekkito finding a couple misses near the end there, but Utami looking very good at the end of that first Ki. Has managed to bring the Ak back up to 95% as well after a rough start in that department, and is now looking quite strong. This awkward aim section is an easy place to miss on, but it looks like Utami is going to be able to hold on to the combo through it now into some more comfortable jumps here. But does drop on one of the aim-dependent triples in the middle of the map. He's already got a 100k score lead, though, and Tekkito now has 0 combo lead to work with after a full reset for both players. So just pure score lead for Utami right now. Nothing else to work with for Tekkito. Both players dropping misses all over the place here in the second Ki as the jump spacing gets just a little bit ridiculous in this map. And we still see about a 100k score lead for Utami here. Tekkito and Utami, neither of them really able to hold on to a lot of combo during that section, as the spacing did get a little high for consistency to play a factor. And by the end of the map here, it's just said and done. It's still 115k in Utami's favor, and he's continuing to hold on to combo ever so slightly more consistently than Tekkito here at the end. So he's going to keep that score lead pretty much intact through the end of the map. Now, at this point, we're basically out of raw aim maps. There's not a lot else to work with in that department for Utami, so his last pick is going to have to dip into something else, just like Nomad 2. So we'll see what he decides to go with on that one. DT3 going to be the next pick for Tekkito, and this is one of the maps that we talked about at the start of the match as indicative of the fact that speed is not entirely just in Utami's favor, by the way. This is the 293 BPM double time pick right here, or 294 BPM map. It's otherwise a fairly normal map, except for the fact that it's almost 300 BPM. So if you can play 300 BPM, it's fine. And if you can't, you're just going to have a bad time on this one. AR 10.3, of course. Anything much lower than that would mean some ridiculous note density on a pick like this. And right out of the gate, we already see a little bit of struggle on the accuracy for Utami. Does find an early miss on one of the bursts as well. Finds a slider break and a drop there as well at the end of a burst into repeat slider into jump. Tekkito, meanwhile, holding onto the full combo out of the gate, 98.4%. Looking fairly good here at the start of the map. As expected, of somebody who got almost 600k on this the last time they played it. And Tekkito finally finds a miss at the end of the first Ki time. Utami is able to hold on through that section, though, and now is rewarded with a very big combo lead. Tekkito down about 350 combo at this point. But remember, every other map that we've seen this happen on, where Utami gets an early combo lead due to a miss from Tekkito, Tekkito's always able to bring it back. Let's see what happens in the second half of the map here. It is currently score lead for Utami as we get into the second Ki. And Tekkito actually finds another drop at the halfway point. Utami is able to bring this heavily into his favor now. Almost 100k score up. And he's actually, does not hit the second Ki. Just barely drops. But look at the score lead is already 100k in his favor. Tekkito needs a miracle to happen here to pull back this point and not drop the break point on double time 3. And there's the start of it. Utami does find more than a few misses on one of those bursts, but Tekkito drops on the stream right afterwards. 9 notes with that spacing on 294 is kind of ridiculous. Both players just having a bad time with the ending. And at this point, that means with no combo left for either player, Utami has this one in the bag. It's going to be 6-4 with Utami having the next pick as well. And we're now on to Utami's last pick. What he hopes to be the last pick in this match. He's going to try and close it out with Hidden 2. Hidden 2 in this pool is System, by the way. We have System getting picked in this match now. AR8, CS5, KTG-ster, Grid Snap, Perfect Overlap, Hell is what this map is. You rarely see this get picked because it is just that difficult. It's definitely not Plum by Dustwind. That's definitely not the map that we're playing. We'll get that fixed on the screen at some point. There we go. Yeah, this map is definitely contests with No Mod 6 for hardest map to read in the pool, as the overlap and linear stream aim required for this map is next to almost nothing that you would see in any map pool, I think. Maybe something that we'll see in Grand Finals, but this is just one of the most difficult AR8 reading maps that you'll basically ever see in a map pool. the perfect overlaps in this, as well as the fact that a lot of the streams double back on themselves and are perfectly overlapped because it's grid snapped and distance snapped, means that you really do have to be completely on point with your ability to aim linear streams like this. Utami, not quite on point for the intro. Tekkito holding on to the combo lead at the start of the map here. Utami note blocking one of those streams. Tekkito note blocking as well, though, does find a lot of misses there. We do have both of them at about the same accuracy, and Tekkito with slightly higher combo did hold the combo lead at the start of the map and is holding the higher combo right now. So a third of the way through, it's looking favored towards Tekkito. Let's see how the rest of the map goes, though. And he does find a couple of misses there. Utami now looking to take the score lead back, has the combo lead, and is continuing to hold on to the combo through all of these difficult sections. Tekkito is still finding a lot of misses. Utami, though, is holding on to, just fantastic combo right now. I'm trying, chat, I swear. I'm trying. But he's just holding on to too much combo. He's just able to hit all of these sections and not really have any trouble with all of these perfect overlaps, and the snaps back to a lot of these jumps are not giving him any trouble. He finally drops and finally finds a lot of misses here at the 2/3 part of the map. But Tekkito now just doesn't have the combo to contest, and with 230k, Utami has already amassed a pretty heavy score lead here. And at the end of the map, we're into the last quarter now. It's already over 100k in Utami's favor. This play is just sort of ridiculous. There was so much combo held in that middle section that it just became impossible for Tekkito to stage the comeback here at the ending. And even if he could have, there's still higher combo right now from Utami. Both of them are just going on this ending, though. What is this? Both of them hit this, apparently? That is a ridiculous score for both players, but Utami almost 400k on system in match is absolutely ridiculous. That middle section really showed just how on point he was for something like this, where you have all those perfect overlaps, all of the grid-snapped aim patterns working together along with the linear streams, and he was ready for it for sure. He was ready for this match as well, as GG Well plays are already out. Tekkito as well, unfortunately for him, is out of the tournament, as Utami moves on to the top 3 in the Corsace Closed 2021 tournament. And that actually decides our top 3 in the Losers Bracket Finals next weekend. We are going to have I'm a Fancy Lad versus Utami, and Flying Tuna will be waiting for the victor of that match in the Grand Finals. And speaking of those Grand Finals, don't go anywhere. We are about to start off with the Grand Finals Map Pool Showcase. If you want to see the maps that these 3 players are competing on next weekend, stick around for just a few minutes. We'll get that started with Half Slashed and Leglist on the casting desk to inform you about the maps. My name is Dio. I have been your caster for this heck of a match between Utami and Tekkito. Again, commiserations to Tekkito for the loss. Congratulations to Utami for the top 3 finish. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.